I think South films and South filmmakers still have that. They are very connected to their audiences. Perhaps we have lost that connection. Perhaps we need to relook at that. And the South films are teaching us that.
Hello guys, I'm Nona. In the recent interview of Aamir Khan with Baradhwaj Rangan for Laughing Chadda was really insightful. If you haven't, you should must check it out. They talked about many things, but in this video I want to break down two of them. The first thing, he was asked about how South Indian films are dominating now, pan-India. And before, pan-India was used to be Hindi films because they are watched throughout India, but now that's changing. And Aamir Khan, who has made these big films, they have done thunderous business. The highest grossing Indian film is by him, Dangal. In recent times, even his worst film, Thugs of Hindustan, made 150 crores in 3 days. So he is a very credible person. And he says, there is definitely a movement.
COVID coming in with people not going to theatres, or rather they could not go to theatres. And so they were consuming entertainment at home through OTTs and other platforms. And as a result, all of us ended up seeing content from other languages. So similarly, the Hindi audience had started watching, I think, films from the South and enjoying them, liking the characters, liking the action. In that time when these films came out, it was all of that put together.
And a lot of credit goes to COVID and lockdown, because that made people in Hindi belt watch movies from other languages and get used to it. And when theaters opened, there were big releases there and the audience were welcoming of them, which is a great thing for everyone. He also said that the South Indian directors know what the audience wants. They are more connected to them, which I would agree. Now, talking about the Bollywood films and why they are not working.
Somewhere I think in Hindi cinema also, we as creative people have started selecting perhaps films which are more and more niche. But then we also should be aware that if I'm choosing this subject, it is a niche subject. I must be aware of that. I must not imagine I'm making a mainstream film, but actually I've selected a subject which is actually won't interest. Most of the masses may not even relate to this topic.
Niche means for small group of people with certain sensibilities. And when you make films like that, you cannot expect them to do 200, 300 or 1000 crore business. And that actually makes a lot of sense. Let's take the example of Jug Jug Jio. It is a film talking about divorce, but it's packaged as a big Bollywood family film, which you think about is smart and should work. But no, it is a niche film. Not everyone is comfortable about divorce. Still, in Indian culture, it's a big deal and not acceptable. So, the film becomes really niche for certain people. It is meant for the more broad-minded people and also to start a conversation with people who are very conservative about it. And the film didn't do that well. It barely crossed 90 crores. Now, the same director made a film called Good News before the pandemic, which was the highest grossing film of that year. And that film was talking about IVF, which is still seen as a taboo, but packaged as a comedy entertainer with big stars. And that one worked. And the clear answer is the film is still talking about pregnancy, talking about having babies. And we Indians love that. That is part of our culture. Now, what is the way of having them? It's a separate thing. And it's also educational in that terms. But at no point it's going against people's perception, people's thinking. And it's also a comedy film with big stars and it just works. But that was before pandemic. Things are very much different now. But this example still shows you what works and what doesn't.
According to me, we've been making a simple error. A lot of us as creative people, not so much in touch with what the larger mass of audience wants to enjoy.
Right. Like a Bhool Bhulaiya 2, it's a full-on family comedy entertainer. People went to theaters even when the film was available on Netflix. And I think Aamir Khan made a very valid point. Now, the other thing was, the OTT versus theater debate, as always. And Aamir Khan said something very interesting.
Saying that OTT actually is not a challenge to cinema, but we are making it a challenge to cinema. What we are doing is, we are saying that our films will release in theaters, but you don't really need to come because in a few weeks you can see it at home.
He says that at least for his films, he tries to have a 6 months window between the theater release and the OTT release. And I don't think many films can do that. And BR, as always being a great interviewer, gave a counter argument, which is that if the film doesn't work at the box office and if they quickly go to OTT, they'll get a lot of more money. But then Aamir Khan came up with a very interesting answer to that.
So I feel it's the quality of the film and how well we make the films that will finally decide everything. That's the bottom line.
Everything depends on the content. If the content is good, the film will work. If it's not good, then nothing can really salvage it. Then you're just running and putting it on OTT and quickly getting some money, which is a very short-term thinking. If the audience know that a film is coming out and after 2 weeks it will be on OTT, why would they go to theater? They will not. And that's what's happening. So many big films are flopping. Also because the content was not that good. But even with average content, knowing that it will not come out in a long time on OTT, people would have come to theaters to watch it. And it talked about, the industry has to come together. They have to think long term. Today, you'll just put out your movies on OTT quickly and get the money, but you're destroying the theater business. And in the long term, it will affect you only. So there were a lot of such insights in the interview, and I actually reacted to the whole interview, which you can check out here. He talked about how Laughing Chadda happened, what happened behind the scenes, how they got the rights. He talked about stardom in today's world, his dream project Mahabharat. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this, like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.